How are you? I am just getting ready. Hold on. Let me get some chat windows up. I hope everything's going well. It has been a crazy week. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. And I want to share some cool things. It's my birthday coming up. It's my belly button birthday. I am celebrating. There we go. Okay, so I just shared this to my Facebook page. So now we are up and running. We are good to go. How's everyone doing? How you guys been? Have you been healthy, happy, and enjoying somewhat of a 2021? It's kind of a little bit silly. But my friends, it is my birthday coming up. It has been a challenge and a half. I'm not going to lie. This 2020 business has been an adventure, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about, I would say, my passions. I've learned a lot about what I want to do or what I don't want to do. But more importantly, I've also picked up on things that I would say I'm looking forward to, things I started to focus on when it comes to gratitude, when it comes to appreciation. I started to dig deeper as things became more, I would say, the more silly things became, the more I started to focus on what was really important. I started taking things away that were not adding value, and I started focusing on things that did add value. So when I look back in retrospect, when I look back in some of the things I've been able to accomplish, some of the things I've been able to achieve, I started to consider like, hey, you know what? Maybe there's not as much room in my life for the things I thought were important. Maybe there's not as much room in my life for things that were, I would say, topic level, were adding value, that I thought were adding value. And then I started to take away things that were, I would say, add value that if everything is adding value, how do you measure things so that they're not taking away? If I have 3 different friends that are adding value right now, how do I know which one is adding the most value or which one is? And then this is where I started doing an introspective search about, is there something that's costing me, not just in money, but more so in like time and energy? And when I started to focus on things that were taking away my time, that were costing me, I'm burning lean fuel into the night, I started to focus on, you know what, these things that were at a high level, I thought were adding value. Things like listening to, I don't want to downplay the news, but if I'm focusing on watching YouTube videos and it just, the void, like you just start watching one YouTube video and then like 13 hours later, you're watching a completely different YouTube video. So when I started to consider like, hey, you know what, if I really enjoy watching YouTube, that's awesome, but what value am I gaining out of that? And a couple of things I started to focus on then was maybe I could allocate things into something constructive, like watching, I don't want to say watching, but like if I focus on that same amount of time, if I put it into calm.com, it's like a meditation app, that can actually add value because it starts calming me, soothing me down. So something like regular meditation, in the same time that I would watch 17 or 13 hours of YouTube videos, maybe I just watch, if I take 10 minutes, if I'm committed to watching 13 hours of YouTube videos, I can commit to calm.com and I can take 10 minutes out of my day. I can start with the gratitude meditations. And there's a million different kinds of meditations they offer. You can almost do like a I would say like a Google search about, you just describe what you're feeling or what you're thinking, and there's a meditation for it. So what I've come to start to appreciate is, rather than watch the news first thing in the morning, what if I just instead take 10 minutes and put that into like the inner, like the grounding foundation of meditation? And I wasn't really that good at meditating in the beginning. Like I was good at like not doing something. But as soon as I started focusing on, hey, maybe I should start focusing on what adds value and start removing things that make me feel anxious. And I started to develop patterns of just after watching the news, I would feel anxious. Just after listening to certain podcasts, as much as I love them, as much as I love hearing about what's going on in the world, there's certain things that maybe they wind me up. Just like certain YouTube videos, if you watch them, I know that I can feel wound up and anxious after watching them. Yes, they might be informative and they might be hilarious, or they might be something that is comical, but if I'm left in a state that's not preparing me for the rest of my day, maybe I shouldn't be focusing my energy on that. And that was really difficult. That was really challenging, especially at the early stages of the pandemic. And I didn't know how to navigate that. And that's where resources like calm.com can definitely help. That's where things like I started taking this mental health course. I don't know if I've told you about it before, where it's a free course, like it's on Coursera, and it's the science. I'm just trying to think. It's called the Science of Mental Health. Or no, the Science of Mental Well-Being. That's what it is. So it's not specific to mental health, but there's a lot of mental health conversations about it. But it's really in depth, and I think it's like an 8-week course. It's totally free. If you ever want to check it out, go to Coursera, or just do a Google search about the science of mental well-being. It's really interesting. It's all by video, so there's links too if you want to read, but there's all of it's by video. I watch it on the Apple TV, so I can put it on and watch it. And rather than invest my time in 20 minutes of like doom scrolling through social media, I don't know if that's something you've done, but that's certainly something I'm guilty of doing. And doom scrolling doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve others. It doesn't serve the greater good. It doesn't leave me in a position where I'm feeling better about myself or the world. I can appreciate that, yes, there are facts in the world that need to be understood or appreciated, but then I also have to maintain my mental health. I have to maintain my I would say my inner candle flame, because if I don't, it's going to be something that makes me feeling, I would say, I'm trying to describe it by like the sweaty palms or the clammy hands or the anxiousness when you drink too much coffee. That's another thing I used to do, is I would drink way too much coffee. I was at the beginning of the pandemic, like I would almost say fast forward to March, but like rewind the clock back to March. I was drinking like a whole pot of coffee before I started my day, and then you threw on the doom scrolling and the social media and the anxiety. I was just a hot mess, and that was an indication of I would say that magnified what loopholes I had created for myself, where my friend Barbara would talk about like the resilience of what you have leading into an event. And we've talked before about if I have this little bit of a weakness, that's I would say like a pinpoint, where you've got a piece of paper and you have a pinpoint, and then you shine that piece of paper over the light and you can see the light shining through. And I would see that in myself, where there's all these little tiny imperfections and consuming too much coffee and doom scrolling through social media. And then when 2020 hit and you shine that over the light of, I would say like the light of transparency, pretty soon everything becomes magnified, where I'm getting distracted. I'm anxious. I'm feeling down and overall like sad. And these were very hard things to manage, self-manage. And I couldn't do it without identifying that something needed to change. And for me, this is where small, tiny changes, like I say small, but like cutting back the amount of caffeine I'm consuming, getting out and getting some sunshine on a regular basis. That's too easy for me. From somebody that works from home, like somebody that's always at home, I do go outside, but making it a point of enjoying some of the sun. Sure, it's 0 degrees outside, but it's still something I can do. I can commit to getting a little bit of exercise. I can commit to getting outside and enjoying some sun. There's no benefit to, if I just invest that same amount of time into doom scrolling or consuming more coffee, there's no amount of caffeine that's going to solve 2020. There's no amount of alcohol or other substances or other drugs that's going to make it, I don't want to say make it better, but part of the challenge with addiction, part of the challenge that comes with struggling with mental health is there's no two answers the same, but there's certain things that, if left unchecked, can be the great undoing. Certain things that can definitely expedite my downward spiral. And that can come in the forms of things being left unchecked. That can come in the forms of consuming too much, I would say, internet, or consuming too much of any one good thing, be it caffeine or alcohol or other substances. Each of that's unique to each of us, but still the patterns are the same. And I don't know if you can relate to this, or I don't know if I'm the only one feeling that. But that's what's really helped me. That's what's really helped me navigate through 2020. That's helped me persevere this past year. And I look back from the last birthday fundraiser that we had. Last year was like a banger. Like, we did a huge fundraiser. We had something like, it was over $1,000 we raised in fundraising. It was amazing. I think it was like $1,500 by the end. I was really proud of the work we were able to accomplish, and I really debated whether or not to fire up a fundraiser again this year. But I started to get notices on Facebook where people were wishing me happy birthday, and it really wasn't my birthday. I don't understand what it was. It was like, oh man, there's like 5 people in one day wishing me happy birthday, and I was like, okay, people think it's my birthday, and it's not. I think it's the reminders. The Facebook reminders where people get notified. And I was like, I don't want people thinking it's my birthday for like 2 weeks. Like, it's going to be a long 2 weeks. And I was like, hey, you know what? Let's throw a fundraiser out there. Let's raise money for the sobriety place that I went to, Simon House, and let's do some good. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or 3 birds with 1 stone, really. Let's eliminate the birthday faux pas, because my birthday's really next week. It's not really today or yesterday or any day this week. It is in the future, but still, let's solve that. Let's raise some money for a good purpose, and then let's recap on the past year. Things have changed, but so too have I. Things have grown, but so have I. And I think that's really awesome. I think that's pretty cool. And I think it's worth sharing. It's worth exploring. And I wanted to share my strategies of how I've been able to persevere over the past year. But I also wanted to ask you how you're doing. How are things? How has 2020 treated you? Have you been healthy, happy, and enjoying some of this 0-degree weather we have? Or is it something where you're white knuckling your way through 2020? A lot of people have. A lot of my friends have. So there's no knock on that. There's been times where it's been challenging for all of us. But if you're interested in joining the fundraiser, check out the link. I put a link up above or down below. I can't remember where it is, but it's the birthday fundraiser for Simon House. And if you're able to, definitely go ahead. If it's worth exploring for you, I encourage you to check it out. But by no means, if you're not in the position to, or if this isn't something that's your jive or your game, that's okay too. Maybe you just want to go and check out something that's free. And this is something that's free. There is a mental health first aid. This is a course that I actually did take, and it was something that was really helpful. It's really beneficial. And I got my certificate for mental health first aid, and now they're offering it online. And if you want to sign up, it's absolutely free. January 30th. Go and check that out. Or there's also another one. Hold on, I want to share. It's the Coursera course. Coursera, and it's the Science of Well-Being. Here we go. So it's in the personal development category. Here we are. The Science of Well-Being. Holy cow, there's 24,000 5-star reviews. This thing is awesome. It is 100% online. Takes about 19 hours to complete, but it's spanned out over like weeks. So you're not doing 19 hours all at once. I should stress that. You're doing like 19 hours over the course of like 5 weeks or 8 weeks. I can't remember. It is really enjoyable. I'm learning a lot. For somebody that immerses themselves in the mental health like regime or quadrant, I'm really enjoying it. So if that's something that's interesting to you, definitely go check it out. Again, it's absolutely free. They're doing it free until March. So there's other courses there too. There's one on positivity mindset, and that one I'm also absorbing. I span them out. There's 2 courses that are fun that I'm taking, and then there's 2 courses that I really don't know a lot about and I want to learn more. So these are my fun courses, but the ones I'm also learning are really interesting to me. I'm doing another one on, sorry, I'm just thinking, oh yeah, there's like a courses taught by Google and other social media aspects, like the understandings of the inner workings of it, and I'm really enjoying how that's being put together. But again, it's worth checking out if this is something you're interested in. It's taught by Yale, and if you're interested in a free online course, there is the mental health first aid, and I've shared that to my timeline, as well as the lady that does this, Lori Santos. She did a interview, and it was on Facebook Live, and it was just 30 minutes of raw answering questions about what to do now that you're at home, or some challenges or strategies, and I found it really interesting. And so Coursera did that interview with her, and again, they put their course up on for free. So definitely go and check it out if that's what you're into. Again, if you happen to enjoy some of these mental health chats and you want to contribute, maybe you do, maybe you don't, definitely look into this. There is a birthday fundraiser, and all those proceeds are going right to Simon House. And that's where I went for my treatment 8 years ago, and that's what's helped me get to the position where I am now. So I'm very filled with gratitude. I'm looking forward to the year ahead. 2020 has been a challenge. I'm sure 2021 is going to be a challenge as well. But thanks to these little tiny shifts, thanks to these little tiny micro adjustments, thanks to being fluid, dynamic, and filled with gratitude, I'm now in a better position than I had started in 2020. And maybe 2021 is going to be a roller coaster too. Maybe. But if that happens, I am going to do the best I can with what I have and continue to persevere. So my friends, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for hanging out. If you want to check out more, definitely let me know. Reach out, say hello. But in the meantime, you take care, you have fun, and I'll see you in another video. Okay, bye-bye.